Could you contact the Environmental Protection Agency Authority?
Yeah.
Mhm. They regulate the carbon dioxide emissions under the Clean Air Act.
Yeah.
Just thinking about these electric generators,
Yes.
I don't think there's any emissions. I did spend some time reading this article,
Yes.
and it's probably the cleanest technology ever invented. Now, it doesn't use any fossil fuels,
Yes.
there's no pollutions,
Right.
and it manufactures a kind of electricity that's magnetized electricity, similar to, well, an electric generator.
Yeah.
Now, let's say that I wanted to sue this nation
Yes.
for refusing to enforce my rights to manufacture and sell
Yes.
the cleanest air electric generator ever invented. Boot! Now, for the EPA to sit there every day, because I emailed you, ouch, I want all the employees of the Environmental Protection Act
Yes.
because I'm going to sue every one of you. Now, I've documented a lot of innovations,
Yes.
and the individuals that are in the employment of law enforcement
Yes.
seem to have thought that making $1 million in 5 years was some sort of fluke,
Yes.
and that me losing my house to foreclosure
Yes.
because we moved to Vancouver so Jessica could go to the Washington State School for the Blind. Why don't you give me the blind schools again?
Pooch.
Now, for all of those
Yes.
that think that making $200,000 a year
Yes.
was no small feat,
Yes.
it actually did require some education. And then I did a lot of self teaching,
Yes.
similar to what I've been doing while being in the study room every day.
Yes.
Now, let's say that you issued a dissolution of marriage,
Yes.
or my wife did not give me a copy of it. Oh, and you say it doesn't violate my consumer protection rights.
Yes.
But if I was to go out and purchase anything requiring an application for credit,
Yes.
they might see on my public court record
Yes.
a judgment against me. Whoosh. In fact, there's been numerous judgments on my actual public record
Yes.
that has obstructed from me from being able to consume. Now, when you make that $1 million,
Yes. He does.
hmm we had all that consumer credit, the $180,000 of 100 consumer credit.
Yes.
Not because my wife was working,
No.
because I was supporting my family.
Pooh.
And then when we went through a credit crisis
Yes.
and we lost our home to foreclosure
Yes.
because it was a very difficult time to be able to earn a living,
Yes.
I did work at trying to earn a living.
Yes.
Then when we moved to Guam,
Yes.
so as to be able to sell insurance,
Yes.
we had some frustrations that required us to live in a homeless shelter for 4 months. Oh, is that right? Oh, is that right? Now, somebody said I got a blood disease from Guam,
Yes.
as in I didn't realize that my wife was kidnapping my sons
Yes.
when she made a false police report of domestic violence, child abuse, and assault.
Yes.
She arranged for my sons to be transported to Clallam County, and within 5 days, you issued a protection order. Now, I want you to seriously consider exactly what you've done. Because making $1 million in 5 years,
Yeah.
um, it wasn't because I was lucky. Mm. I was educated and I continued to educate myself every day that I went to work. Now, we do remember the Y2K, and that did cause a little hiccup in things. Yes, it did. And then there was the credit crisis that we went through.
Yes.
But now I'm suing the EPA.
Yes.
I'm going to want another 100 billion because I have the cleanest electricity manufacturing technology ever invented. Now, luckily for them, there's a lot that can be done. International diplomacy, global climate negotiations. Oh, now it says here the United States only accounts for 15% of global greenhouse gas emissions. You know how much greenhouse gas emissions it makes when you have one of my desalinated salt batteries? Yeah, it doesn't make any. What happens when you have a vehicle that doesn't use any fossil fuels? It doesn't make any. What happens when you manufacture right now? You know, you've been involved in fraud,
Yes.
in some of the most serious kinds of fraud. And then when I informed you
Yes.
that I didn't get any due process, ooch, you decided to conceal your fraud
Yes.
because of the use of what is known as the fraudulent mental health evaluations.
Yes.
where you said I had a barrier to competence. Yes. Knowing that I had a degree in organizational management. Yes. The same degree that my wife has. Yes. That I paid for. Ouch. Now, when I took out student loans, I paid all of my higher education costs. Yes. And then when I married Heidi, I paid for her bachelor's degree. Yes. And her associate's degree. Oh, oh, oh. And then when she decided, yes, that she had her organizational management degree, she stayed home during the whole marriage right now. And then when she kidnapped my son, she said I was a poor welfare recipient, victimized woman, yes, where her husband had committed domestic violence, right? And then you allowed for her, yes, to get a decree of dissolution of marriage where you could put me in jail right now. Now, what made you think, yes, that when I responded to the dissolution of marriage, yes, with 5 typewritten pages, yes, and approximately 50 pages of documentation, that I had no idea what I was talking about? And why was it, yes, that you did not require me to get notice of any of these court actions? Yes, because you did not right now. Now, I'll tell you something, Judge. You have no idea the amount of money that I managed. And it is a management of money. Now, you issued a protection order? Yes. Without the signature of the petitioner? Yes. Using forgery? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, you just wanted to say I was crazy. Right. I'm going to put in prison every judge of this state. Do you understand? Now, for the individuals in the employment of the state of Washington, yeah, I don't care if you get elected or not. I'm going to sue you and I'm going to have you prosecuted. Yes. And I just want to make sure that you understand, yes, that when you issued this in 2011, yes, I was in jail, yes, for the false accusation of domestic violence and child abuse. And then when you reissued it, then you issued it for 1 year, dear Ken Williams. Yeah. I did not get any due process. And then when my wife, yes, motioned the court for dissolution of marriage, you reissued it 1 week later. Yes, because of the false accusation that I had violated it. Now, Brent, I want you to understand, unopposed candidate for Superior Court, yes, you're going to prison. Ooch. No, you are. Ooch. This is the kind of fraud where you get to go to prison. Oh, so if you win or lose, it doesn't matter to me because you're going to prison. You're going to prison. The sooner that reality actually affects what you do, the better it will be for the rest of the nation. Because I will sue for the removal of any forgiveness of any loan of any employee of this nation because of their refusal to obligate you to enforce child abuse and neglect laws. Now, I want custody of my sons. Do you understand? You're not going to arrest me anymore for false accusations of being someplace I wasn't, yes, or committing a crime that I didn't. You're not going to arbitrarily right now decide you're just going to arrest me because you're not going to be convicted of any crimes. You're not going to lose your assets. I will guarantee to every employee of every state in the federal government, if you have any personal liability or professional liability for the knowledge that you have, you'll get a lawsuit from me. You'll get a lawsuit from him, I tell you.